All right, good morning. Day 3 of the Camino Finisterre, our last day. It's 6:20. I'm out front of the albergue waiting for Raymond to get stretched out and ready to go. And we got like 17 miles to cover. We're trying to get an early start so we can get there. Plenty of time to do some sightseeing, look around town. I just realized the 17 kilometers we have to do ends in the middle of town, but to get to the lighthouse is like another 3.5 kilometers. So I don't know if we're gonna walk that or try and get a taxi out to the end of the point, whatever. Figure that out, and then have to get back to Santiago tonight, where we got a room he used, Marriott points, so we got a hotel there. So let me get going, let the light come up, sun come up, we'll do a would you rather, and then we'll see what the rest of the day looks like. See you in a bit. Alrighty, almost 3 miles in. It's getting light out. You can see there's Raymond. It's really dark over there, but we just checked the weather and it says no rain today in Finisterre. 0% chance, it says, all day, going up to 67. It's chilly now, but let's do a would you rather. I was having a hard time coming up with them lately. And so I just saw there was a little brouhaha back home in Philadelphia. I don't know how many people are familiar with Dave Portnoy from Barstool Sports. And you probably have mixed feelings about him if you do know who he is. But he owns a bar in Philadelphia amongst his many enterprises. And apparently somebody that arranged for bottle service at his bar over the weekend, you can have a sign put at your table before you get there, and they arranged for a very anti-Semitic saying to be put on a sign, and some of his help put that sign on that table, and he went bananas. He is Jewish. He went crazy. I think in the aftermath, 2 people at his bar had been fired. He's found out who this person was that did it. It was a Temple student. And long story short, he has been in contact with them and their family. And he is going to pay for that guy and one of the other guys to go visit Auschwitz to get a little bit more educated about Jewish history and the Holocaust. So I was thinking about that a little bit, and I thought, so if you haven't already, would you rather visit a place like Auschwitz to understand the history, the ugly history of World War II, or a place like the beaches of Normandy, which was another famous World War II spot under a little different circumstances, but also a lot of death and destruction there. So yeah, that just popped into my head this morning as I was thinking about what was going on back there. So a visit to the beaches of Normandy or a visit to Auschwitz. That's a dark one, but think about that, and we will. I'll let you know what I think later. See ya. All right, I just did the would you rather, and I know that was a little dark, but we're gonna have a little fun now. So we have seen a couple of like billboard kind of signs, and it looks like they're put up by the state of Galicia. But we're like, no, they must be a billboard for a movie about a werewolf or something. Here is a werewolf statue, and it must be like the sign or the symbol for this area. The billboards said Vákner, Vanker, and they had like these scary looking things. We thought it was a movie, but here's a giant statue. Oh yeah, look, right here, Vákner. Let's see if I can get all the way in there. Vákner 2022. So some reason or another, Galicia must have a history of thinking there were werewolves here, and here's a giant one we're gonna get a picture with. This is a pretty nice view. It's still a little cool out. It's like 51 degrees. So it was definitely in the 40s when we started. There's Raymond way back there. He's coming up. He just got passed in the other direction by a lady walking back, so she must have She must be walking in from Finisterre. I think if you start up in Murcia, which is north of here, you can walk Murcia to Finisterre or Finisterre to Murcia, and then you can walk into Santiago de Compostela, and you can get a Compostela, because the combined trip between those two spots and getting to Santiago is over 100 kilometers. So that's a way people can get a Compostela also, instead of having to start at Sarria with the mobs, if you're so interested. A shorter walk to get yourself a Pilgrim's Compostela. All right, I didn't realize when I was showing you that last view that is water. We can see, I think that's a cove. I'm almost positive, I think that's water. Yes, that's definitely water out there. We still got a ways to go, but at least I can see the ocean. That is exciting. I would be like flying to this place right now. I would be moving really quick just to get there because I'm excited to get there, but I can't move that fast because I'll lose him. He'll take forever to get there by himself, and I'm going to leave him alone. So slow down, take my time, enjoy the views of the ocean in the distance. It'll be there when I get there. Chugging along here, kind of at the top of bumping along the top of the mountain bridge. It's super cool. A lot of pines, both big pine trees and like pine bushes and stuff. And the trail's just like this. It's flat, soft on the feet, looking pretty good. All right, we're about to get a good view right here, right now. Check this out. There is I think that's the little town of Sea. Right there. Looks like a Coast Guard little boat, Coast Guard cutter or something right there, that orange boat. Right there. And there's the ocean. There's the Atlantic Ocean. I was just looking on a map. I think if we go straight across from this point to North America, we're somewhere, we might be at about the same latitude as Maine. Believe it or not, we're pretty far up. New Hampshire, Maine, somewhere on there, but that looks like a cool little spot. We'll grab a late breakfast there and keep making our way further out behind it, I think, out in that direction over there. Whoop, over there somewhere. All right, see you in a bit. All right, we just had breakfast there. We got a view of this here. We're gonna go walk down around that water line along the coast right over there. And we gotta, I'm pretty sure, go right over that. And then there's another little hill sort of like that down somewhere on the other side of that. And then you slowly get to Finisterre. 7 miles away. Home stretch. How's this for a view of the bay? And check out this hot vehicle. I'm gonna have to go figure out what that says on the front. But I'm guessing that, gotta love the green seats. That's a classic, and that's an old one. Pretty nice. All right, so the other side was the town of Sea. This is the town of Coruña. Like that. We're gonna cut through a little part of that and then go up over that mountain. Super cool. Pilgrim statue. Got them all along the way. It is beautiful out here. Wow, this is a unexpected little surprise coming out of Coruña. It's a really stony steppy climb up the hill. From a distance, I thought it's like on a flat road, like a pretty wide open road. Well, maybe that was not the right path. Feeling this. Place is open. Raymond's ordering a couple beers. Here's the view. We got a little boardwalk going. Look at this. It's like a beach town. Really the home stretch now. I think we got to go out that road and kind of around that corner down there. And looking in the book, there's like a 2-kilometer white sand beach that we're going to walk along. So we'll see that in a little bit. But I think we got that little hill to go over. And we are then home free, baby. But we're going to go sit right down here, have a beverage. Maybe we'll just walk up here and drink it up here. We'll see. See you in a bit. All right, so while I'm waiting for him to bring the beers out, I thought, you know what? Let me do the Would You Rather now, because in the home stretch, I'm going to be thinking about the home stretch. And the Would You Rather is a little dark today, just because it's what popped in my head this morning. Would you rather visit Normandy or Auschwitz? I've never been to either. I would like to go to both. If I could only go to one, I would go to Normandy. I'd like to be at that spot up on the top of the mountain where there's the big stone dagger monument. And if anybody remembers, that's one of the big speeches that Ronald Reagan gave in commemoration of D-Day, the Boys of Pointe du Hoc speech. It's it's a pretty famous speech, whether you liked him or not. It was a pretty good bit of oratory and commemorating some heroes. I definitely am a subscriber to Never Forget, and I would like to see Auschwitz. But if I could only go to one of them, I would go to the one that sort of symbolized the beginning of victory. And hopefully I'll get a chance to go to both at some point. So that's the Would You Rather. I'm going to go back, have a beer, enjoy this beautiful view, and go get the Finisterre. Let's go. How's this for a view coming out of the woods? Still got a couple miles to go, but I think all of it is going to be in view of this water, and you guys should be able to see that is Cape Finisterre right there. So the town is behind that hill. I don't think we walk around the right side of that hill, and then we're going to figure out how to get up. The miles for the Camino stop in the town, but to get out to that point where that lighthouse is another like 3.5 kilometers. We may be taking a taxi out to the lighthouse, because once we're done, once we hit the last little marker, we're done. Yeah, that's the town of Finisterre right there. And you gotta walk out that trail to get up there. So we're gonna get there and figure out what the plan is. But the end is in sight, baby! All right, we are really in the home stretch now. Here is that 2-kilometer beach I was telling you about. I think it's called something like Lagosteria, something like that. We can either go and walk along the beach, or we can walk through these little pine trees that are along the beach. Let's see what Raymond wants to do. I wouldn't mind walking down. There's some people, pilgrims walking along the water. We just gotta go over there. Almost there. All right, I'm opting for walking along the water line. Raymond's opting for walking along the tree line. So I'll take a couple pictures of me. So here we are. down. Don't know exactly where Raymond is, but he's somewhere on the trail, I think. I'm gonna meet him somewhere around here, where the beach rejoins the trail. Find the last spot, the last marker, get a picture there. Then we get to go get a little certificate here as well. Not quite a Compostela, but they give you some sort of memento for memorializing your hike from Camino to Santiago. Let's go find it. Alright, got to the end of the beach. Raymond just showed up. There's a Michelin place here, a Michelin restaurant, so before we go finish, he needs to stop and get a beverage. So we got a quarter of a mile, maybe half a mile. And then we got to get up to the lighthouse. But we're going to get in the middle of town, finish, get a stamp, get a taxi, take us up to the lighthouse, because he doesn't want to walk to the lighthouse. Neither do I. Almost done. There's the beach we just walked on. Came all the way around from over there. Came over those mountains today. This is so cool. There's Raymond taking some pictures. And the finish line is right up here. Getting closer, getting closer. Just ran into Ellie from England and Maria from Austria, who I had met a few nights before the end of the line, Santiago. I have to go back and look up what hostel we stayed at. I remember exactly what it looks like. It's the one we sat outside, ate dinner outside, but I just don't remember the name of it right now. But they finished yesterday, so they're getting ready to head back on the 3 o'clock bus today. So that was cool. Got to see a couple of people I met on Camino right before I finish. Get down here and finish this thing. Let's go. So that's our driver, Paco. He just drove us up here, and he's going to drive us back to Santiago tonight. But he's leaving us here for an hour to hang out. Raymond wants to have a beer up here. I think we're going to do that right over there. And I want to see if there's a spot to walk down to the water to the right. I don't know if there is. I don't know what that says. No vehicles. But I think there's a place around here to walk down that way. Right across there is North America. This is super cool. Very happy I did this. Very cool to be here. Yep, there it is. End of the earth for pilgrims in the 9th century. Of course, they got a little restaurant, a bar right there. Oh boy, feels good. I will put another video up when I get home, kind of talking about how this was different than the AT, because a lot of people wanted me to ask a final, would you rather hike the Camino or hike the AT? I tell you, I've got thoughts on them, both, but that's a different video. All right, I'm gonna see how I can get down to the water, if I can, without hurting myself. I'm back. I forgot to show you the lighthouse, so can't end without seeing Faro de Finisterre. Faro is lighthouse. Lighthouse of Finisterre, right here. Still haven't figured out if there's a way to actually get down to the water. But I could swear in the movie The Way that he got down there. So I'm gonna walk around the back of this place. If I find it, I'll show you that. All right, making my way down. I see somebody else way down there. And it looks like the way down just came through there. It's pretty steep, but I want to get down there just to say I did it. See if there's a way to dip my toe in the Atlantic Ocean. We'll find out. All right, only a little further to go. There's somebody there, and there's two people down there. Climb up is going to be a chore, but almost there. This feels like the White Mountains in New Hampshire. Made it. This was definitely an adventure. There's the lighthouse. Way up there. Find my way back up. After I sit here for a moment and soak this all in. Whew.